All right, y'all. I'm not even gonna waste time with this one. This is probably gonna be one of the most serious videos I do on this channel. Now, I want to explain to y'all what exactly Von was talking about in this video because, for one thing you have to understand is that Von has he's reached a point of full understanding. You know what I'm saying? And now some of the things he said, I've watched this video already, but I'm just here to break it down for y'all because I know it's gonna be a lot of people that, you know, they just getting into their spiritual journey, and he's saying certain things that you just may not understand. So I'm gonna be here to break this down, man. But one thing that you have to understand is just because Von is feeling this way, Von's ego is feeling this way, that doesn't mean that you have to feel this way. Something that y'all on YouTube have to understand is that y'all don't have y'all own thoughts in a sense. Like y'all, I know we just because we're all one consciousness doesn't mean that we have to feel the same way at the exact same time. You understand what I'm saying? So everybody is on different levels. So just because he feels this way doesn't mean that you have to be depressed, because I can guarantee you Von isn't depressed. He's just come to a realization that you just haven't came to yet. If you get what I'm saying. But anyways, man, let's get into this because it's a long video and I'm gonna decode this whole thing. Everybody needs to access their pineal gland to realize that they made this whole reality up. We locked ourselves in these fake bodies and we still trying to hold on to a fantasy we created. Now, if you don't understand what he's saying right here, all he's saying is that we all come from the source, meaning that if we're all one and we all came from the source, he's basically saying that we created this reality for ourselves. If we're all the same person, this means that the reality that everybody has their own separate reality. We're living in our own. You create your own reality. So if reality is a script, you are writing your own script in a sense that you are everyone in your own reality, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? That's why they say don't do to others as you wouldn't want done to you, because you are that other person. Meaning that if you do something to that other person, you're doing it to yourself, if that makes sense. This is a fantasy world. Now, just because Von has came to a conclusion that just because he's gotten to the point that he feels like there's nothing, that he's bored with the physical life. I'm low-key at that point, but not in the sense that he is, if that makes sense. Like, my interests aren't anything that have to do with normal things, if that makes sense. But we're gonna get into that later. Folks talking about divine kind, when you reach that, you realize that everything we made up, everything that we just bored as a collective, the universe is just something we made up because we bored. This is all true. This is all true. I can't wait for y'all to find this out. See, this is why he should have left it with this message and not made this video. I'm not gonna lie, and I commented on a video because he's kind of sabotaged everybody else's fun. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get back into that. None of this is real, blah blah blah. You know what I'm saying? I could decode this, but that's not really important. I just want to get into him talking. Now, this one is a good one. He said folks be talking about chosen, what you get chosen for to do what? Wake your own self up. Now, this one low-key made me realize that the chosen thing is kind of a foolish thing, because if we're all one conscious once again, and we are the creator, a source of if we're all one consciousness and we created this reality, if we created this reality, how can we be chosen if we were already we're everyone in a sense? So you can't be chosen. You already knew you was chosen before you even came to the thought that you was chosen, if that makes sense to y'all. Like, you can't be chosen to wake your own self up, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? I just want to get it.
And stop all distractions before you listen to this video. The hamster wheel. Wake up. If you we want to keep living in the fantasy, click off the video. The fantasy. Once you break the matrix, there's no going back.
I was
the
better.
Matrix is not society. The Matrix is not spiritual shit. No. The Matrix is life, the body.
I don't think people get that. You got to understand that everything comes from the creator. You are the creator of your own reality. So the Matrix is not, the Matrix was the Matrix before it even became the Matrix, if that makes sense. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to explain. The Matrix didn't, like people say you was born into the Matrix or whatever. The Matrix existed before you incarnated in the body that you incarnated in, if that makes sense. Like, the Matrix is not only this third dimensional world, if that makes sense. Your body, your physical body, is also a part of the Matrix, because you thought of this body, if that makes sense. Your consciousness thought of this body, if that makes sense. So everything around you is part of the Matrix. Not only are you can't detach, the only way to detach from the Matrix is to fully detach yourself from even your own body and not even identify with your physical body, if that makes sense.
The universe. That's the Matrix. When we started out as a thought, right? When they talk about the Big Bang, that was us. Now, we were just a thought floating in existence. And we said, we're bored of just being a thought. We want to feel things now. So we decided, okay, let's start the Big Bang and let's have a physical experience. Let's start the hamster wheel, the cycle of life. But we did that at a price. Once we started the cycle of life, we realized that we can't stop the cycle of life. I don't think that hits you. Once we started the cycle of life, we realized that we can't stop the cycle of life. Imagine if you was in a room and you couldn't get out.
And this should be an easy concept to understand, so I'm not even going to explain that, just because I feel like it should be simple.
The room, and you couldn't go to sleep and you couldn't age. What would you do? You would make your whole entire fantasy. Once again, before we continue, if you want to keep living in the fantasy, please kick off the video.
He gave y'all a warning too. He gave y'all a warning and y'all still watched. Because there's people in the comment section crying like, oh, you making my life feel so hopeless and unimportant. When in reality, you have to understand, it's all about what you want. Like, if you still got things in the physical world that you feel like you haven't done yet, then you can still do it. Just because he's saying this don't mean you have to feel the way that he's saying. That don't mean what he's saying is not true though. You just haven't reached that level, if that makes sense. So trust me, once you get to that level, you gonna understand what he was saying in this video. But it's just that the time period that you in right now, you wasn't ready to hear this. It's kind of like skipping grades when you weren't ready. You know, like if you was in 5th grade and you got jumped all the way to college, you start hearing information. You start getting college information when you skipped like high school. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even get to live that part of your life. You just skipped all the way to high school. I mean to college. So you basically skipped a whole part of your life. And it's like, wow, I didn't even get to experience nothing yet, and I'm already being taught, some of the things. That's basically what this video is. He kind of, for the people that wasn't ready to hear this, he made them skip grades without even giving them a chance to get to where he is, if that makes sense. Which is why I feel like I understand what he was saying in this video, but I just feel like this should have been something that people figured out on their own.
We don't want to ruin it for y'all. For us. Just please click off the video. But we all, as a collective consciousness, as a one whole, have to come to this realization. We're not God because we're great. We're God because we're the only things here. Let me say that again. We're not God because we're great. We're God because we're the only thing here. And that We Are God that Von posted, that We Are God video that Von posted, the whole you are me and I am you, we are the same being. It's just one consciousness.
One consciousness, different egos.
Anything you do to somebody else comes back to you because it's just you. It's just you here. It's only us. It's only us. You literally listening to yourself right now.
That was deep for a lot of people. I don't think some people's egos understand what he just said. Think about that. Let that resonate with you for a second. Don't do to others as you wouldn't want to do to yourself. You are me and I am you. You are listening to yourself. I'm explaining myself to myself.
I'm trying to wake up myself. Let's break the matrix. Back to the hamster wheel of life, right? When we first came into this physical reality, we were scared of death. We thought death was a bad thing. Then we realized, oh, death isn't actually real. We live forever. Now we have to realize as a collective that it's actually bad that we live forever, because now we have to experience things and keep feeling forever. Imagine if your homie said, yo, my nigga, hey, come to this lit party with me. It's gonna be the latest party of your life. But the only catch to it is you can't ever leave the party. That's what this is.
You eventually gonna get bored of that party.
Full of vibrations.
Is basically what he's saying.
That's literally all this is. And just new flash, just to give it to y'all, all that religion shit, all that spirituality shit is fake. Yeah.
We already knew the religion is fake. But let me explain to y'all what he means by spiritual. Everything in your reality is not real. It's basically what he's trying to get across to you. It's real if you identify with the matrix, for example. Because he said some other stuff that people just didn't. So I'm trying to think, should I wait till he say it or just say it now? I'll just wait.
Yeah. Von was in the fantasy. We was all in the fantasy.
Well, let me touch on that. Basically, what he's saying is that you created spirituality for the matrix, pretty much. But in the grand scheme of things, it's all fake. You created that for your reality, if that makes sense to it. Like, I don't know if it's catching on to what I don't know if what I'm saying is catching on, but you created spirituality for your reality. You created religion for you. Everything in your matrix was created by you. You created it, but in the grand scheme of things, it's fake in a sense that not fake like it's not real. It's real to the matrix, but in the grand scheme of things, to the consciousness, is not real. If that like say you playing Sims, right? And say they have an option to like spawn in a dog in the matrix, or not in the matrix, but say they have an option to spawn in a dog in the Sims game. Once you turn off that Sims game, that dog is not real. It's real in the Sims game because that's the game you playing. But once you turn that game off, once you consciously detach from that matrix, you understand that spiritual everything is fake. You understand that that dog in that game is fake. You understand that spirituality in this matrix is fake. That's basically what he's saying.
Now, this is the point of letting go because we realized it was a fantasy. Yeah, it was a fantasy. Like, even let us use something small. Meditating. There's no point of meditating.
I ain't gonna lie to y'all. I don't even meditate because meditating didn't make sense to me. Now I'm gonna explain to you why it didn't make sense to me. And this is not even like, I guess this could have been a spiritual download that I had a while ago. I just didn't even share it really. But I don't meditate because I don't need to quiet my thoughts or anything like that. Is all I gotta do is think about it, and I speak to my, you know what I'm saying? Like he says, let me.
The reason why there's no point of meditating, because you're meditating to get back to what?
Yourself. You are the source. You are yourself. So why would you meditate to connect with something that's already a part of you? You are the why. Why would you meditate to connect to something that's already in you? Now, meditation could be used like for a beginner. It's used because a lot of the times the beginner's thoughts aren't quiet. They're still connected to third dimensional things. But once you reach a certain level, your brain is already quiet in a sense. You can meditate just by, you can get answers just by thinking of, like, instead of your ego having thoughts, it's like your conscious is having thoughts instead of your ego, if that makes sense. Like, you don't even have to meditate. You just, somebody say something to you, you can easily decipher and think about what it is just without, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to do anything. It's just already there. You don't even have to meditate for certain things.
It's just you. It's just us here. You're lining up your chakras for what? To get all-time peace? That's just an emotion. You're over that emotion. See, here's the love vibration and here's the hate vibration. You think you're here when really, no, you're here. You're literally God. You're just watching.
Now, I seen a comment that said that he don't want to feel. I seen a comment that said Von, because he said that we made this physical experience because we was bored of just being a thought. And then somebody in the comments was like, well, isn't being bored an emotion because he said he didn't want to feel? Well, who said that he was ever bored? Did he say he was bored? All he is doing is telling you a truth. You know what I'm saying? All he is, he's just explaining a truth that he probably should have kept to himself, but he's just explaining a truth. Nowhere in here did he say that he was bored, you know?
And you can pick any vibration you want. But at the end of the day, you're not the vibration.
It's more of a like, I really got to do this again mentality than it being a bored mentality. Like, I'm sure he can find something in his mate. Like for me personally, there's stuff like once you reach a certain level, it's different things you want to see. Like I want to see some extraterrestrial. Like I recently, the spiritual downloads that I've had and just know about. Like I want to see what's beyond the wall. Some people may not know what I mean when I mention that, but I'm not. I don't care to explain it right now. But I want to see what's beyond the wall. I want to see what's beyond the poles. I want to see some extraterrestrials now. Like I don't care about certain things. Like I want to see something new. We've seen the same thing over and over and over again. When are we gonna see something new? That's why a lot of people are ready for this solar flare, because we're hoping that it's gonna bring some excitement to this boring reality.
Emotions, dimensions, all that we made up because we are God. It's just us. It's literally just us. We made all this up because we was bored. This whole false reality, this role playing we got going on, we made up because we was bored. The Anunnaki, the Draco, all that shit is fake. They're all role playing.
Once again, a lot of people take things too literal and don't think about it. The all that he said is real in your reality, but in the grand scheme of things, it is fake because you made it for your reality, if that makes sense. You put that dog in the Sims game. The dog is not real, but you put it there. You put the Draconians in your reality, but in reality, they're not real. They're just real in that reality, if that makes sense, man.
Are the actual Anunnaki real? Yeah, they're just us. They're just beings. Yeah. They're all role playing. That's why there's no point of fighting. Whenever you fight somebody, you're fighting yourself because we're all the same being. Like, we're all the same exact being. Then you probably thinking, well, okay, this is why you're supposed to show love to everybody. When you show love to everybody, just showing love to yourself. You're just showing love. That's it.
You could tell this man fed up just because he just slapping. This man Von, bro.
So it's what we've been doing this whole entire time. There's no point. It's gonna get old. This whole time we just been role playing.
This man Von.
Egos acting like we're different, but we're not. We just been role playing this whole time for entertainment. This whole entire time. And now we are gonna be the big brother and walk into the room and tell everybody else, yo, the role playing is done. You know what I'm saying? This ain't cops and robbers. Like, that shit's not real.
He said this ain't cops and robbers.
We all the same. We is all the same person. It's just us here. You feel me? It's just literally us. When you reach the us frequency, what egos like to call the God frequency, it's what everybody wants. Everybody want to reach the God frequency. But when you reach that, you're going to wish you didn't reach that. Because you truly realize, oh, this whole time, I was just talking to myself. Every person you seen was you. Every person you seen was you. Anything you eat is you.
This may not register with a lot of people, but you have to understand once again that was explained at the beginning of the video where he says that I am you, you are me, we are all one consciousness. We are all one consciousness with different egos. Different egos operate on different frequencies. If your ego is not like, just because like we're all one consciousness does not mean the egos are operating on that same conscious. So therefore, like I said, I commented on this video, like just because we're all one consciousness, the egos are not gonna, they're not gonna all just unite out of nowhere and be like, oh yes, I agree, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's kind of like, it's pointless to, I understand I understand the message, but it's like, you gotta, Von should understand, and maybe he do understand this, but he just didn't care. He gotta understand that not everybody's ego is gonna be on the same time and that he is. And I don't know if he probably does. I'm willing to bet he probably knows that already, but he just felt like he needed to make this video.
Fruits, vegetables, nature, all that shit is fake. All that shit is part of the fantasy.
I honestly don't even want to react to this whole thing because like,
it's all a fucking illusion. It's not. You'll feel peace forever. Then when it said, oh, you will go to hell and you will feel burning forever,
I'ma just skip around because I feel like the main points have been just already like, but let's see.
And this is why we also meditate. Because when we meditate, we just do it so we can be still. So we can be numb. Bored as fuck, right? Yeah. This is why when egos get higher in consciousness, egos don't feel like eating no more. That's why. Because we don't want to feel no more. We're tired of the physical experience. We're tired.
I ain't gonna lie, sometimes I do be feeling like, I wouldn't say I'm tired of the physical experience, but I'm tired of the like, I wouldn't say tired of the physical experience, but it's more so tired of, well, not tired, but you just want to see something new. It's like it's like nothing exciting. Like once you raise your consciousness, it's like, okay, all of this stuff is elementary. The news, I can decipher the news within like a millisecond, you know what I'm saying? I know everything they saying is a lie already. I can decipher what's coming next, you know what I'm saying? It's like, can we see something new though? Like, can we see these planets? Because the planets not really the planets, and that's another spiritual download that if you don't know, you just don't know. But the planets, they not really planets. But can we see something? Can we see some extraterrestrials? Can we see something else other than the same thing we've been seeing for all these years? So when I say I'm not tired of the physical experience, because it's a lot of things in the physical experience that your physical body hasn't seen yet. And this goes to Von too, so I don't know if he understands this, but it's things he ain't seen. No extraterrestrial, he ain't been beyond the walls, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that he ain't done yet, but he probably feels like there's no point of even doing it or seeing it, because at the end of the day it don't matter. But at the same time, we had this physical experience to experience certain things, you know what I'm saying? So what was the point of having a physical experience if you're not going to experience everything that you can experience? So therefore, there should always, even like he was saying, like he said something about not caring about money and stuff like that. Well, the money shouldn't be something that motivates you anyways, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we can all make money, things like that, but that's stuff that don't really matter, you know what I'm saying? Now I guess you can make the argument that nothing matters, but at the same time, it'll still be cool to see other things, you know what I'm saying? Like see some, I keep on saying extraterrestrial because that's just me personally, that's what I want to see. That's what I'm kind of into right now. But I don't know, man. Let's keep on watching.
Tired of the experience. We're tired of experiencing things. Really, the hamster wheel. we gotta break the. Yeah, we plan for us to have a DNA upgrade. We plan to keep going with the fantasy. But now we're realizing, yo, we're tired of the fantasy. Like,
I
yeah,
get
that
all
was a part of
this.
the fantasy. We made that up too. We made the spiritual shit the new religion. Why did we do it?
I've been wanting to stop saying spiritual, and I've just made a video about this, but I never wanted to call myself spiritual, just because, for one, it's becoming trendy, and two, is because, like, I don't know, it just kind of like it doesn't, the word doesn't accurately display, you know, what. I don't know, man. It's hard to explain. I really can't explain it. It's just something that you got to understand. Honestly, I can't explain it, but I know what I want to say. I just don't know how to word it right now. But
why did we all do this as a collective? Because we even in ancient Kemet or any ancient civilization, when they say the pharaohs, which were spiritually enlightened people, which was just us, when they used to find things out, they used to come back and they used to tell everybody, yeah, they used to tell everybody bullshit. The reason for that is that's the cycle.
now he says,
Time. When the first Big Bang happened, this is when we created life. The next Big Bang, this is.
I had a spiritual download about that yesterday, I think, about how we created life with the Big Bang. I recently found that information out the other day, actually. So that's why I feel like I'm kind of operating on the same frequency as Von. It's just a little bit lower, because it's like, it's still things that me personally, my ego wants to see. You know what I'm saying? We operate in our egos sometimes. You get what I'm saying? We not always operating in our higher consciousness. So that's something that he has to understand.
When we going.
But he says something important in a minute.
We tired of that shit because it's just an endless loop. It's just an end. Tell yourself that again. We just need to tell ourselves that again. It's time. It's time.
And I think Von, he sabotaged himself on purpose just because he's tired of it. So since he's tired of it, this was low-key, I ain't gonna lie, this was a selfish, this was kind of a selfish move. I mess with Von because a lot of the messages, well, everything, I mess with him just because everything he says is legitimate. Whether you know it or not, you just haven't gotten to that level yet. So when a lot of people be like, Von is talking crazy, blah, 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 he's not talking crazy. You just not you not there yet. That's all I can say. Like that, like I said, it's like going to school, man. If I put an elementary school student in a college classroom, they're gonna be like, this is not making sense. You're talking crazy. This is the same thing. If somebody watches this that just got into spirituality, how would they feel if one day, like today, they just learned out about meditation, and then the very next day they hear this and here's somebody saying meditation is fake? How would you think that made them feel? They wouldn't even know. Like, they'd be like, what? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing.
Once you let go, it feels so good. It's time. It's not real. It's not real. And this is also why it's been a lot of talk of Von is evil. Yeah. Because that was just us reminding Von that, oh, you evil for what you about to do.
Is that he knew what he was doing was selfish, y'all. He knew what he was doing was selfish, but he decided to do it anyways. I ain't gonna lie. He may not even realize this, but his ego got in the way. His ego literally got in the way when he made this video and decided to post it. Y'all got to think about that. His ego got in the way, and I'm not even trying to bash him or nothing. I'm just speaking of facts. Like I don't care. I really don't, because at the end of the day, I have my own reality. You know what I'm saying? But I understand what he's saying that he already knew, because when you go to the comments, you got Buddy. I seen one comment. I'm gonna see if I can find that junk. You got one dude talking about dang. You got one dude look, spirituality ain't gotta be this depressing, bro. Keep living life. Who said he was depressed? Now you may get a vibe that he's depressed, but at the same time, once you get to that level, it may feel depressing because you feel like you've already experienced everything. Imagine you playing a game, right? Imagine you playing a game. Let's say you playing, I don't know, man. Say you playing like 2K and you got it on like a 4-hour quarters or something like that. I don't play 2K, but eventually you gonna be like, man, this is getting depressing. Like I'm just sitting here doing the same thing, running up, doing the same. Like when people try to get they different badges and stuff, they doing the same thing, whatever the case may be. They doing the same thing over and over again to the point where it's like, this is making me more sad and depressed than it is, you know, making me happy. I was having fun at first, but now it's just getting boring and depressing. That's basically the level that he's at. You not at that level yet. You only on minute 1 of the first quarter. You know what I'm saying? He already on the 4th quarter of the 4-hour quarters. You get what I'm saying? So it's just different levels, bro. But it was this one comment. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it. I found it on my phone, but I don't really see it on here, so I ain't even gonna stun it. See, look at this comment. It's so scary how 1 minute you can be so passionate about spirituality and meditation, now you say it's fake. I explain this. They just don't get it. Some people aren't gonna get it. I'm trying to find this one comment, man, but forget it, bro. The comment said something along the lines of, I had goals and things that I wanted to achieve and things like that, and now you making it seem like it don't matter. Okay, here it is right here. It said it said, all I felt from this video was negative energy. Why are you giving up my hope? I had to pause the video because I hear there's not, you aren't, you can't, chill, I didn't deserve this, bro. And like I said, explained before, some people wasn't ready to hear this message. So that's why I feel like he was in his ego. He was being selfish. And he put out a message that he knew, because he said it. He knew what was going to be the outcome. But it said, I want to do things in life and you making it seem pointless. It's not pointless in your reality. What you have to understand is you have your own reality. A lot of people on YouTube don't have their own brains. That's the just sad reality. Like they don't know how to think for themselves. That's why they always looking for these YouTubers and things for answers, because they say they looking within for their answers and they getting their answers from within and things like that, but in reality they not. So that's why you get messages like this. And this is probably like a little kid. So yeah, little kids can be spiritual and things like that, but at the same time, they need guidance more than anything. So when he puts out a message like this, the little kid's not gonna know how to process it. So he said, I feel like all my goals are worthless and it's destroying me inside. Bro, if you still have things you want to do in this physical, then you can still do it. Just because Von says something, you take what he's saying and apply it to you when it makes the most sense. So at this very moment, it may not make sense to you because you're not on that level. But once you get to that level, you gonna remember Von made this video and you'll be like, dang, now I'm feeling exactly how he was feeling. I understand what he was saying now. And truly, you gonna eventually, if you on your journey, you gonna eventually feel what he's feeling. But it's just right now you not on that level, so you not gonna get it.
because Von ruined the fun. Yeah. Von found out that he wasn't real. And he ruined the fun. Because really, we could have just, this whole time,
Yeah.
and let ourselves stay in the fantasy.
Yeah.
But we said, nah, it's time to end the fantasy. We just ruined the fun. Yeah.
He should have waited to make this video like after the new year or something. At least let the solar flare go off first.
We all realize, oh, it's literally just us here. Now that we realize that it's just us here, now we got to work towards that moment.
I ain't gonna lie, I think I'm operating on another level just because I like, even though I may not be on the same level in terms of feeling how he feels, I understand how he feels, if that makes sense. So like, I don't feel exactly how he's feeling right now. My ego don't feel this way, but I still understand what he's saying, if that makes sense, because I know it's still things that I gotta do on this physical that I ain't done yet. So like the dude in the comments said, the little kid said, I already know he a little kid. I ain't even gotta see. I know that was a little kid comment. But just because it's things that I haven't done that I still want to do. And I'm not even talking about like some, I don't even know. But I'm not even talking about nothing even money-wise or nothing like that. Like, I want to see some dang extra, I want to go beyond the walls, bro. That's what I want to see. I want to go beyond the walls, or at least see beyond the walls or something. You know what I'm saying? I want the reality to be shaken up like a snow globe. It needs to be shaken up. It's too calm and still. Like, it's too boring. That's why this time period is so exciting for a lot of people, because it feels like a change is coming, a change in the reality. And we all live, in a sense, we all living in the same reality, just different egos are experiencing the reality a different way, if that makes sense. Because at the end of the day, like you said, we all one consciousness, but our egos have different realities. This was a spiritual download that I literally just got right now. I did not plan that, but we are all one consciousness living in the same reality, but our egos are experiencing the realities in a different way. That's something that you got to understand. So I don't even know it. Like,
us is here. Yeah, they come into that same realization that it was just role playing. It's no point of fighting. Nah, we just need to end this shit. That's the end all.
I'm done, man. I'm done. But hopefully y'all kind of understand what I was trying to say and understand what Von was trying to explain. So if you didn't understand when Von said it and you didn't understand anything I said either, then you're just not on that level, man. You're not on that frequency, and it's okay. You can just continue doing what you're doing, but you don't have to look at these videos and take it as you have to be thinking the same way he's thinking, bro. You still have your ego still have its own thoughts. You still have, you can do whatever you want to do. It's your reality, dude. You don't have to, you can understand what he's saying, but that don't mean you have to, that don't mean it applies to your reality at this moment in time. It may apply later, but just not right now. But hopefully y'all understand that, man. I'm gonna just end it on that note. But let me know what y'all think of what was discussed in this video, man, because I need to know. But I'm out, man. It's been that man Don. Peace.